Hi X. Today I for the first time want to share with you my story with all of you, even though it told me not to speak nor write down its name. I will try to green text it all, but bear with me. I will probably also write something in detail outside the green text limitations. 16 years old at the time this happened. I was a normal kid. Didn't really have many friends, just the usual 2 to 3 close ones. I live in the country. Hunting is one of the main entertaining things to do out here. My father taught me how to hunt. Birds, deer, moose, you name it. I always looked up to my father. We were out hunting for forest birds on this day. Don't know the English name. It's summer, the sun is shining, and it is hot outside. We walked through the forest. Not much luck with the birds, but I love spending time with my dad, so I didn't really care. We arrive at a small lake, decide to take a break, eat some food and drink some water. My father spots an old beer bottle kinda hidden in the grass. There is no signs of human activity in this forest, so it kinda was a little strange. Dad jokingly said, "One day, Anon, when I'm gone and dug down in the dirt, I want you to find this place, open this beer, and drink it while thinking of the days that we went hunting together." Dad puts the beer bottle down on the grass. Under the tree he found it again. We get up and leave. This beer bottle would become significant later, so just bear with me. Okay, so fast forward 2 years. My dad unfortunately died. Natural causes, heart attack. Be 18 now. Visit my parents' home where I grew up. I moved to the town across the fjord to go to school. It's wintertime by now. I'm happy to see my mom doing well, even though my dad recently passed away. I decide to spend the weekend. When I wake up the next day, Saturday, I suddenly remember the old beer bottle my dad and I found while hunting back in the day. The days are short. The landscape looks a lot different when the snow covers up the trees and ground in the winter, and I had not been into these forests for quite a while. I decided to go anyway. I grabbed my dad's old hunting equipment, including my old rifle. After driving for maybe 30 minutes in my dad's snow scooter, I reached the thick part of the forest. It's too thick. I have to walk the rest. I figure it wouldn't take long to reach the lake that me and my dad sat down by 2 years ago. As I walk through the completely white landscape with snow up to my waist, minutes turned to hours, the wind was picking up and it started snowing. Fuck. I decided to turn around and get back before shit hits the fan. Too late. By now it's a full-on blizzard. The trees around me support me some cover, but the thick snow coming down from the sky makes my vision really bad. I get lost and it's getting darker. Fuck it. I decided to build myself some kind of a shelter under a tree, remove some snow, build it into a wall to decrease the wind flowing through my shelter. The wall goes around the trunk of the tree, leaving me a little bit of space. I break off some of the branches and put them on the ground, just to isolate and prevent loss of body heat. I am now laying on the ground with little to nothing to cover myself with. I figured this trip would not take long and didn't really take any survival gear with me. I know, fucking stupid. It gets darker, and the blizzard eventually calms down. Now only big fluffy snowflakes slowly surf down from above. The side is kinda comfy, even though I'm sure I will die if I don't engage in some type of activity to prevent even further loss of body temperature. I start doing push-ups, sit-ups, some squats, but doesn't really help. Can't stay here anymore. Need to get back or I'm a goner. My tracks are gone, as if no one ever even walked out here. Fuck. I chose the general direction of where I thought I came from. I start walking. In like what seemed like forever, I bathed in snow up to my waist, just the same as before. It had gotten a lot colder, and now only the light from the moon guided my way. There's a crack. Wait, what? It sounded like a fucking avalanche, and then I realized I am on top of frozen water. As fast as I could, I threw myself down and spread my limbs, as to try and spread out my body weight to stop it from cracking. Too late. Crack. I fell through the ice. The cold water gave me body shock, and in a panic I tried to get up, only cracking more of the ice. I started hyperventilating, and I could feel the weight of my clothes drag me down. This is it. I am dying out here. How fucking ironic. Trying to celebrate my dad's life, I will die myself. After some time, hard to say how long, it all felt like an eternity. My feet slowly lost their ability to move. I just thought to myself, just give up. No one will help you. And just as I said that last word of that phrase inside of my head, I saw it. The death dealer. This animal, no, this thing was huge. I am sure it was taller than 7 feet. I couldn't really tell the details from where I was, laying almost dead from hypothermia in the water. My mind was clouded. A long and gray/white hand gently reached out to me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to fucking die. I grabbed the hand with all of the strength that I could muster. The thing lifted me up, as if I was lighter than a feather, gently putting me down on the ground. Now I could see it, with every detail. At first I thought it was an angel. My guardian had come to save my life, for it was not my time. But no, this was no angel, not at all. It was tall, as I mentioned, above 7 feet. It was completely white/gray. It had huge black eyes. It looked like a couple of oversized marbles. A thin black lip, stretching from cheek to cheek. No hairs, hair, nose, not any human features really. The creature just looked at me, and then it fucking smiled. The mouth on this thing, it was fucking terrifying. The teeth were long as needles, and even darker than its eyes, standing out in all directions, and a blood-red tongue hidden far back into its jaws. It also had spikes standing out here and there, but not spikes sticking out from its skin, but spikes that looked to be a part of its body. "What the fuck are you?" I screamed while crying, confused and filled with fear to the core. Its mouth didn't move, but this dark but gentle voice entered my head as if it was speaking directly into my mind. Arakiel. Now, I've googled and searched for answers. This name apparently is the name of a fallen angel in Christianity. I don't believe much in religion, but I don't fucking know, guys. I am still scared shitless. The story does not end here, though. I couldn't move. I was cold as the water I just fell into. Every sense the human body has screamed at me to run. Run as fast as you can. Just run. I could not, even if I wanted to. My body stayed there, in the shadow of Arakiel. The same voice as before trembled through my head, this time not as gentle, more like the sound of thunder. It was strong. "Do you wish to die?" "What? No, I don't want to fucking die. Get me the fuck away from you. Fuck." Panic. I could not open my mouth. I could not speak. I could almost not breathe. Very well. My body started warming up. I swear I could feel the ice melting from my skin and clothes. It was like an explosion of heat beneath my skin. Walk. Arakiel lifted its twisted hand towards the forest. It did not need to tell me twice. My body could finally move again, and boy, I ran. I ran so fucking fast. The snow was as deep as before, but it didn't affect my current speed. I swear I beat some type of world record as I bolted through the forest. I wasn't sure what to expect though. I just wanted to get away from that thing. It was so out of this world. Nothing I have ever heard about or seen before. At that point, I only accepted the fact that I was alive and that Arakiel saved me out of kindness, but I could never have been more wrong. After running for a long time, I could feel the forest loosen up, not quite as thick and dense as before. And there I saw my glorious stallion, the snow scooter, covered in snow, almost invisible, but I saw it. I jumped on, started it up, and headed back to my mother's house. My mom sitting in my father's old chair, crying, was the first thing I saw, then my neighbors and the local police officers. "Where the hell have you been, Anon?" my mother said, then hugged me as if it was the last time she hugged me. "Son, you have some explaining to do," one of the officers said. So I sat down and explained the whole story, except the part about Arakiel. "Thank God you're alive, son. In this cold weather, most men would have died after breaking through a frozen lake like you did. Thank God," I thought to myself. God had nothing to do with this creature in the woods. There was something sinister about it all. The police officers and the neighbors left. My mother went to bed and so did I. Before finally getting a good night rest, I took a last look outside the window in my old room, second floor. And there it was, standing, not quite tall enough to reach my window, but its face was looking straight at me. "Speak off or write down my name, and what has been given will be taken. You have a debt to pay." The same voice as before, as powerful and clear as a presidential speech. This sentence is burned into my memory, and I pray to God that writing this won't put me in any kind of trouble. And then it vanished. Where, you probably ask? I don't know. It just fucking disappeared into the dark night. Now, to this day, I have met with Arakiel several times, in my dreams and in my life. I'm not quite sure what to do. My mother fell sick not long after the first time I met the creature, and once again it approached me, asking if I wanted her to die or live. I of course said I wanted my mother to live, and not long after, the sickness was gone, as if she just healed it away in one night. I fear I have taken choices which are not mine to take, and I fear for my life/soul, if we have a soul. This death dealer seems to prevent life from being taken away, but I am certain it can take life too. It is as if Arakiel is using me, only as a vessel to fulfill the creature's purpose, to seal deals with it, so that it can take the souls of whom it has a deal with when we die. And that's why I fear my life, my mother's life, and all of the other lives I've had the chance to save or let go will ultimately fade away when I do. Thanks for listening, Anons. Please let me know if you've heard of anyone else with any similar experiences. I am now 24 years old. I hope to live long, but I'm not sure, as Arakiel is always watching me, waiting in the darkness. I never went into those forests again, for the fear of my life. Guys, I am not fucking around now. Something weird is going on here. I think it might be Arakiel. I see this dark tall figure in the corner of my eyesight. Shit in my apartment is falling down, and I hear this deep rumbling sound. I'm fucking scared. Hey guys, hope you're here. I did not die, but Arakiel visited me shortly after I wrote my story here on X. As you all can see, the last thing that I wrote was weird shit happening. Turns out my internet connection got fucked up at that same time it showed up after all the racket inside my home, bearing a message I guess, clearly not pleased with me sharing its name. Although I did the only thing it told me not to do, it somewhat chose to spare me, I guess. Anyways, here is the short story of our last encounter. Posting story on X. After finishing the story, answering comments, weird stuff happens. Don't pay much attention to it at the start, but weird shit gets worse. Items falling over and this deep rumbling sound starts piercing my head. The lights start to flicker, and my internet connection gets totally fucked. The shadow figure appears. It slowly turns into the figure I met years ago in the forest, but smaller. It's about my size now, a little taller. When I said it was slowly turning into the figure I once met, I mean that Arakiel was formed from the shadow itself. At least, that's what it looked like. The same features as before. This old eternal being stares at me, light flickering ends. The light shuts off. It is dark now. Deal broken. The same dark but clear voice in my head, as powerful as ever. My whole body was struck with pure fear, and I have never felt so close to death. I was sure it would end me. Do you wish to die? The same exact question it asked me 6 years ago. I didn't think I had a choice. As the same sensation of being strangled, I could not muster a word, but all I needed to do was to think of the answer, just as before. No. Deal restored. The debt is still to be paid. I don't understand. Did it spare my life once more? How? What did I do? Today I got a phone call though. I don't get many phone calls. Anyway, my mother has fallen sick again, with the same fucking disease she mysteriously was cured for overnight all those years ago. I don't believe this is a coincidence. I think Arakiel has decided to end what should have ended years ago, my mother's life, to restore the deal we have. It needs a form of payment, which can only be life, I assume by now. I feel guilt. I don't want my mother to die. She is practically my only family left, but I think it's inevitable, and it's all because I postponed it. Hey, hope you've enjoyed the story so far. If you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment because it lets YouTube know you like the content and helps more people to see these videos. My next big goal for the channel is 100,000 subscribers, and as a celebration, I will be doing a Q&A video once we hit that goal. Thank you, and back to the stories. This happened about a month ago. Be me. I am 19 years old and Aspie, so I only have one friend IRL. She's a pretty hot girl, but she has schizophrenia, so she's limited to being friends with me. Her co-worker's middle-aged divorced dad rents us his basement in his house in the woods. It's mostly just us though, because he be out doing midlife crisis shit. Friend is always experiencing weird shit, but she is psychotic, so for the most part, it's just silly to me. I notice she is being especially quiet. I ask if she's upset about something. She says she feels like she's being watched. Of course she do. Hear a noise outside, like someone running past the window. I take the dog outside to check. We circle the property and find nothing. I go back inside. The dog stops dead in his tracks at the stairwell and point blank refuses to go down. Whatever. I assume he just wants to go play with the neighbor dog, so I enter without him. Friend is laying flat on the kitchen floor with her arms and legs up in the air. What the fuck am I looking at? I am still not that creeped out because she does weird shit sometimes. I laugh, but it's a bit nervous now. I ask her what she's doing. Submitting. Yeah, okay. I try to get some sleep, but she stays there like that all fucking night. I'm getting concerned enough about her, I don't even realize the dog has not come home yet. At one point I get up to piss. I hear a commotion, like crashing and smacking and gnashing. I come out and she's gone. What the fuck? The fridge is open and her weird food. She is allergic to both gluten and onion powder, so she has a strict diet. It's strewn about everywhere. My frozen buffalo wings seem to be the only thing absent. As I am looking around for her, I hear another crashing noise from the window in my bedroom. My window is open. I feel like I'm in a horror movie. We have no cell phone reception in our home. I accept death. The dog pokes head in through the open window. He seems excited. I don't feel any safer in the house, so I follow him outside. It's like 3:30 a.m., so I decide I should go looking for her and follow the dog up into the woods. After maybe 25 minutes, we find the clothes she was just wearing hung from a tree branch, like high up in the tree. I climb up the sturdier tree next to it and grab them. They are radiating an awful smell, and there is little drops of blood on them. I drop them and nope the fuck out of there. I run home. I find her in the kitchen, cleaning up all the food mess. She is wearing new clothes. She looks at me like she's seen a ghost, and after a long pause goes, "Anon, what the fuck is this?" I wanted to ask you the same thing, but you took off into the woods or some shit. She insists that while I was outside with the dog the first time, that she heard me calling her and followed my voice into the woods. Then she tripped over a branch and smacked her head on a tree, then got up and couldn't hear me anymore, so she came back and I was there. She said I wouldn't say anything except submitting, like I would say it with different inflections as if I had an abstract thought, and only that one word was in my vocabulary. She asked me why I made such a mess of the fridge, and if I would help clean it up, and all I said was submitting. But she's so used to weird shit, she just got frustrated with me and started cleaning up herself. And then apparently I walked in the door and we started having this conversation and other me was gone, along with the clothes that she changed from apparently. What the fuck is going on? Also, I avoided telling her my side of the story. I didn't want to freak her out too much by saying I chased her off into the woods and found her bloody clothes. Should we just move to an apartment in town? I'm used to weird shit dealing with schizophrenic best friend, but this was a little much. I haven't really slept great since. About 10 years ago, I was out in the bush near my place doing some photography. I went in deep, so deep it got dark before I could get out. I felt like something was stalking me. I was really creeped out. Looking around into the darkness of the forest, I thought I could see reflective eyes. I shine my camera flash. Yeah, reflective eyes. I start running away. The smell is disgusting, like an abandoned grocery store bed. I am immediately nauseous and vomiting from the smell. I hear it rapidly approaching. I think it's a bear, so I hold my ground and try to look big by holding my jacket above my head. I feel like I'm gonna die. It charges me. It's definitely not a fucking bear. It goes from charging on all fours to stopping, then like growing onto its feet. Does that make sense? It's standing in front of me. It looks like a mess. I used to cosplay while out for photos like Lord of the Rings or Link from Legend of Zelda. I had a metal cosplay sword, not sharp or anything, so I hold it out. I don't know, I'm fucked at this point anyway, and it's all I really have. I figure even if it doesn't cut, it should be like a blunt object strike. It lunges and goes to bite me. I drive the sword into its mouth. It starts screeching. My fucking ears. I am suddenly surrounded by a group of people asking me if I'm okay and telling me to get out and that they will take care of the rest. I get the fuck out. To this day, I don't know what the fuck or who the fuck. It was the middle of winter when this happened. Live up north with a good chance of Aurora Borealis. In the city, the light pollution makes them look like shit. One night, I have insomnia. Fuck it. I decide to drive up north into the countryside to maybe see the northern lights properly. I bring a camera along with me. It's an old piece of shit, since this story takes place in the early 2000s. It's cold as fuck outside, under minus 20 degrees Celsius. Car is old but reliable. Still a little sketchy to go out alone, so I pack warm clothes, food, etc. just in case. I drive down small back roads to a nice spot in the middle of nowhere. It's a small valley with short pine trees. The visibility is great. There are no clouds at all, so even without the Aurora Borealis, you can clearly see space. I take a long exposure picture of space. I also take a picture of my car for fun. While taking the picture, I hear a loud pig-like groan from the forest. I freeze. I hear the sound again. This time it's higher pitched and sounds like a banshee. It's coming from close by. I look around, but all I see is pine trees covered in snow. I hear the groan for a final time and a tree shake. I wish I had taken the gun with me, since it might be a bear that failed to hibernate. I wait in silence, just listening to my own heartbeat. I eventually calm down. I investigate every tree close by but find nothing. I walk back to the car, willing to just forget about it. I check the final tree right next to the car. Instantly, I see a swollen purple and red woman's face in the tree. Its eyes are wide open eyes, staring right back at me. I almost pass out from the fright and almost punch it. I come to my senses and realize it's a person and they need help. I dig them out of the snow and bring them to a hospital. It's a snowshoe hiker that went missing 2 days ago. They tripped in the middle of nowhere and just got fully stuck wedged between tree and snow, left to die. They had to amputate toes, etc., but she survived. That's my dad's story. I saw his picture of the car as a kid, and the woman's face was clearly visible in the picture. It was, fucking creepy. Summer had come by at the time the story started, and I didn't want to repeat the experiences of last summer, so I decided to go on a road trip with my friends to the East Coast. We got started early, and we've already made it to Virginia. I've got lots of stories, of course, but few of them are like this. One of the places that my friends wanted to explore when we first got to Fairfax County, Virginia, was called the Bunnyman Bridge. Long story short, around this area in the early 1900s, there was a lunatic who escaped from an asylum, dressed in a bunny costume. He hung out here and killed a lot of people. Supposedly, he was run over by a train while running from the police. On Halloween night, his ghost comes out of the overpass where he was killed and slaughters anyone stupid enough to be out here. Being me, I said no, but the larger group was persistent, college-aged, and attracted to nothing so much as a scary story. My one friend Jim argued that it wasn't Halloween and that we would not be going at night, but the other two members of our group, Robert and Clark, said screw that. According to them, if we did not go at night, it wasn't worth going. So there I found myself at Colchester Overpass near the middle of the night. Honestly, I can see how ghost stories formed in this place. It's creepy as hell, like just about all East Coast forests at night. There's something about those trees, the way their larger branches droop, and their smaller ones form spindly webs that just barely obscure everything behind them. That would be bad enough if the overpass tunnel didn't look like some kind of gateway to hell. It's short, but there are no lights, and the opposite entrance looks like a tiny black hole. I remember Clark bemoaning how it was not Halloween, and Jim shooting back that this place was probably packed at that time. I argued, if it's packed at Halloween, when this guy is supposedly around and no one sees anything, don't you think the odds of running into a psycho bunny ghost are slim? To which someone said, slim but not impossible. Meanwhile, Robert knew all the stories, and he told them to us as we waited. They varied a lot. Sometimes they featured kidnapped children. Oftentimes they referred to the Bunnyman's past as an escaped asylum inmate who had murdered his wife and children on Easter Sunday. But they all had the same basic idea of an axe-wielding bunny aficionado. Still, even I started to get into it by the 5th story, though by then it was almost midnight. Still wish we could come at Halloween, I remember Clark grumbling. That was when my watch hit midnight and stopped. I examined it carefully. The second hand was not moving. I looked over at everyone else and explained what happened. Looks like your watch broke, dude, Jim said, and they all shrugged it off. I frowned and looked up, into the tunnel. In the pitch black darkness, I thought I saw the faintest trace of motion. I looked harder and furrowed my brow, but just like that, the motion stopped. Everything was still. Then the wind picked up, and some of the tree branches blew harshly. It was then that I noticed that not only branches were moving, but objects hanging from them. There were nooses in all of the trees around us, dozens of them, and at the end of them, hanging by their necks, were mutilated bunny corpses. Some were missing a leg or an ear, others most of their body. They had all been meticulously strung up, and they swayed back and forth in those awful trees, with their light webs and their drooping branches. I noticed the clack sound for the first time coming from the tunnel. It was loud enough that we could hear it through the closed car window. It echoed out from the tunnel. I could see more motion. Everyone was still staring at the rabbit bodies, bewildered. They had not been here when we arrived, and I will swear that on my life. But with my past experiences, I was used to getting over one shock and being ready for the next. I heard another clack sound, and I could not ignore it. Guys, I said, there is someone in the tunnel. Robert, who was driving, looked back at me, then at the overpass. His eyes widened as he saw the motion too. Whatever it was coming closer. We watched in silence as it finally left the tunnel and kept moving closer. Robert turned the lights on. What I first noticed was not the figure in front of the tunnel. It was what we had not noticed in the trees. Closer to the trunks, formerly hidden from us by the dark branches, there were not just bunnies, but human corpses, mutilated just the same way. They were all of varying age, race, and sex, but they all dangled from nooses, and they all wore blood-stained bunny costumes that were floppy and empty in the places where their limbs were missing. Then I saw the bunny men. I could not make out anything more than a silhouette. A man in a bunny costume standing there, silently, holding a hatchet. As we watched in terror, something dripped from its blade. He moved his hand higher up the weapon's haft, and then calmly started walking towards us. Robert, in a panic, turned the key in the ignition and floored it. We accelerated forward, straight toward the bunny man. He reached out with his empty hand as we came closer, and then hit my window with his hatchet. It shattered, and for a moment, I heard him muttering, "My property. Mine. My fucking property." But we were gone by then. I looked back just once more, and I saw him standing there, watching us as we drove through the tunnel, and far away, far, far away. We did not slow down once until we were well out of Fairfax County. We just shot out of there at top speed. I looked at my watch some time later, and saw that the second hand was finally working again, and that it was still fairly synchronized with everyone else's time. Yesterday, we checked out the broken window. It was completely shattered, but there was no evidence at all that a hatchet did it, like it just shattered on its own, of its own accord. We've agreed that there doesn't need to be evidence for that. Everyone we know will get the story that someone tried to break into a car. Still, I figured this is as good a place as any to spread the word. Do not go to Bunnyman Bridge late at night, on any night, not just Halloween. It's a bad place, and I've been to some bad places. But what truly terrified me was not the bridge itself. It was when I got back to the hotel room and looked outside my window. Standing in the glow of one of the streetlights, holding his hatchet and waving with his free hand, was the silhouette of the bunny man. I did a double take, and There was nothing there after that. I even rubbed my eyes and looked again, but still, there was just nothing. It was probably just the lack of sleep getting to me, but I knew right then and there that I was not going to be getting any sleep that night, or any night in the future. It was the hash-slinging slasher. Ah!